How you doing? Thanks for dropping in with me. We're here to dip into your collective energy and just get you a message of the moment, see what download wants to come in for you. These messages are timeless. And this read is for any significant Cancer placement, as well as if you have a placement in the 4th house, strong placement there, or if you are a Capricorn rising. That makes you a Cancer descendant, and you may find resonance with this read. So let's see what is coming in for Cancer. What does Cancer need to know at this time, Spirit? What is the message of the moment for Cancer at this time? All right, let's check it out. Whew, okay, this is some concern around finances. This can be an investment going south, investing in the wrong direction. This could even be in relation to some kind of tip you got from a Taurus, or potentially from somebody born in the year of the ox. Maybe you invested in some stock, you've been playing the stock market a little bit. This might just be a temporary nosedive. If you're playing the stock, you know, you do have to be able to kind of ride the waves of those investments. So I'm not so sure if you should be too, flummoxed by this just yet. We'll dive into this a little bit deeper, but it does look like you're worried about your finances because there's been some kind of loss here financially. So you're concerned about your security right now to a certain extent. Let's see what's going on with this. What does Cancer need to know about this, Spirit? Okay, interesting. So this has something in relation to maybe a trip that you want to go on, something you were hoping to do, maybe even going on a trip with a special someone, perhaps going somewhere tropical, all right? Maybe you were hoping to plan something with a friend, somebody you feel very close to, or somebody that you just haven't seen for a long time. For some of you, you're wanting to travel to see your family, or someone who just feels like a kindred spirit to you, is just a little too far away. You're wanting to drop in with them. You may have been planning a trip, and now because of some kind of financial constraints or concern, you're sort of like holding off. You're not so sure if you should head in this direction just yet. You might feel like the timing's a little off for this. There might even be some new elements that have come into play that cause you to kind of like put the brakes on something you were planning on doing. There could be some new people that have kind of come onto the scene that just have you sort of like questioning if it's right for you to move forward. You're not so sure if you're on board with this arrangement now. There's something that you're getting a deeper look at. It might also be that you're suspecting a little deception in this area. You're not so sure if you should trust this individual. I don't know. I got that you got your hackles up for some reason. You feel like the timing's off. It's not time for this. And I do feel that financial concerns are playing a role in your choice to kind of put this off. Yeah, I mean, I think that there was some kind of offer that was put on the table. Maybe somebody was, telling you that they would help out financially with this trip or something. And you made an agreement around this. It might have even required that you foot more of the bill or pay more than your share or something like that. And you might have been willing to do that at one point because you felt really connected to this individual. But now you're starting to realize, like, I don't know, I don't really think I can do this at this point. I feel like it's going to put me in too much of a tight spot. You feel like it's going to create a lot of instability for you. Okay. For some of you, this is in relation to some kind of business deal, but it's at a distance, and you're strongly reconsidering if this is the right move for you to make. I feel because you're afraid of being in a tight spot and you feel like in some way this will put you at a disadvantage. It has something to do with travel and new people being brought into the mix that has it feeling a little unsettling for you. Okay, so let me see what this is. What is this coming in for Cancer here? What is this coming in for Cancer here? I know something's on hold. Yeah, it does have something to do with travel. I mean, we see the geographical piece very strongly coming in here. Could even be in relation to a particular character. Somebody who's handsome, somebody who's a dapper dresser, somebody who makes big promises. It might seem very appealing, but you feel like there's a little something hidden here. Like you don't know everything about this situation. You don't have all the details. You could be dealing with a Taurus. You could be dealing with somebody born in the year of the ox in Chinese astrology, somebody born in the year of the horse, the year of the serpent, or the year of the dog in Chinese astrology, as well as a Sagittarius. I do feel like you have a strong connection to this individual. It may be that you really desire to travel to this location. I feel like if you're traveling to a location, it's because you want to connect with some people there. But maybe there's some other people who've been brought into the mix of this that just have you feeling a little bit unsettled about whether or not you should move forward with this. You know, it seemed like wish fulfillment at one point, but now you're starting to wonder if it's more trouble than necessarily fulfillment that's on offer here. Okay, let's see what this is about. What's going on here for Cancer? Oh my goodness. Oh, a lot coming out. Okay, let's see what this is about. Yeah, you feel like something's a little suspect here. I get that there's one person that's involved in this that you got your hackles up around this person. You don't know if you can trust this person. So something's making you feel like a little reticent about being totally on board with this. All right. I see this as you. You know, you may be getting some intuitive hunches about this too. There may have been some like synchronicities that have been coming in, sort of highlighting this for you. I think you're getting some spiritual guidance right now, and you're sort of tapping into your intuition. You're really wondering if this is wise for you to, you know, get on board with this right now. I do feel like this trip is on hold. All right. Got the breakup in reverse. Okay. What's going on here? Look. And there's the trip. Again, we got the rider in reverse. All right. To the secret in reverse. So I think you know that something is hidden here. And if you were privy to it, it would be like a deal breaker. And so you're just sort of like waiting. You're waiting for all the details to come in about this situation before, you know, you get on that plane, you get on that cruise. You know, for some of you, this is something about going on a cruise. This could have something to do with, you know, a boat. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. To you, it just feels like even though this person is telling you that everything is on the up and up, you have questions about this. There's a hidden element here, and I feel like it's something that's nagging at you, and because of that, you're holding off on going on this trip. You're just not so sure if you should move forward with this. For some of you, this has relation to something involving a boat. Like if you should invest in something that involves a boat, like some kind of fishing business. Interesting. Some kind of fishing business. Some kind of like tour related business that involves a boat, or maybe working on a cruise line. It might have seemed like really appealing at one point to you, but you feel like there's hidden elements in play that have kind of got you feeling like it might not be the best choice for you. I also feel like in the case where this is like somebody that's your ex, somebody you were involved with before in the past, you may feel like there's a hidden element involved there. Like they might be telling you that they broke up with the person that they were with and that they're currently available. I don't know if I would really trust that. I feel like something's kind of sidestepped here. That's sort of what it feels like, all right? I do feel like because of financial constraints, this deal's been taken off of the table. You're postponing a trip. You're not ready to go on this trip, but it's also because there's new elements that came in that are just now being revealed to you, and something about it has you sort of like doubting the situation. You don't want to be set up. I don't know why I got this like energy of like you're afraid that if you go on this trip that you're going to like deal with like some group of people coming at you. It's got almost like intervention kind of vibes. Or like a group of people being in on a plan, but you being out of the loop. And something about it is like filling you with anxiety. Like you're not sure if it's safe for you to go on this trip. Maybe you've been getting like some kind of warnings coming through, and it's alerting you to something that you feel like, I'm not so sure if I should go forward with this. Any more details before I dive into another deck for Cancer here? What's going on with this? What's going on with this? We do got Pluto retrograde right now, okay? So definitely some shadow elements involved here. I do feel like a big part of this for you is just security concerns, financial concerns for the majority of you. I also feel like there's something about going on this trip that makes you feel a little unsafe, maybe because of other people that will be there. Like there's something that once you learned about the influence of other people that will be around, it's sort of like made you go, I don't know if I really want to do this. I also feel that in order for you to be able to go on this trip, it does require that, you kind of put yourself in a tight spot financially. You may feel like you're going to have to work really hard to come up with the finances to cover the trip. Maybe initially somebody was saying that they were going to like foot more of the bill, like maybe they were going to cover part of your expenses or something. Now that's changed. That changes your desirability to go on this trip because you might be in a really tight spot. If you go financially, you might have to like pick up extra hours, or you've dealt with some kind of like financial setback that you just feel like it's not the right time for this. I don't know if I can handle the workload I would need to take on in order to be able to afford to do this. And I also feel like you're kind of in two minds about it, on one level, like your heart really, wants to, go and connect with this individual, but there's something there. I think it has something to do with other people that are going to be included on this trip that you're like, ugh, it just sort of sours it for you. And you're kind of bouncing back and forth between your head and your heart should you do this. But I think that ultimately you're kind of putting it on pause because you would have to kind of like, take on some extra work in order to be able to afford to do this. I think it's hard because you've kind of been just like chilling by yourself, doing your own thing. And while that's been all well and good, I think you are wanting to get out there, you're wanting to have some fun, right? And you do feel a real connection with this individual. I mean, it looks like there's some king in connection with this opportunity, and you definitely have an affinity for each other. I mean, I see that here. You look like a pair. This could be somebody you were involved with in the past. This could be a Leo. You could be a Cancer, Leo, cusper. With this hawk energy here too, this could be an Aries in connection to this. I just feel like you're just kind of thinking about this. Is this really wise? I do feel like this king is presenting this opportunity to go on this trip. And I think, on one level, this feels like, I've been waiting for this, And I do feel like there's a shared connection here. And there's some history to this connection too. But there's something you're digesting here, like, I don't know if I should really do this. You might be concerned about a hidden element in this situation. I think it relates to other people that will be present there that really turned you off. You didn't know about that at first. And then once you found out these other people were going to be there, you're like, it's not quite what I thought it would be. This has you kind of thinking about whether or not you really want to go. I definitely feel like finances are a consideration here. It's hard though, because you really do want to go. You want to see this person, but something's nagging at you. Something's nagging at you. And you are a little bit worried here. I don't know why I got like intervention energy. Like there's almost this feeling of, am I going to be set up? Like if I go on this trip, is it a setup? I don't know why I got that. There's something that just kind of has you a little apprehensive about going on this trip. And I don't think it's just about the financial concerns or the extra work you'll have to do in order to make it possible. I mean, part of it that's a bummer is I think that, you know, this individual did say they'd like cover some expenses or they were going to help out in some way. Now that's kind of being taken off the table. Now you're finding out that these other people are going to be there that you didn't know were going to be there. That's adding a little bit of a kind of sus element to the mix. All right, let me get some more details for you here, Cancer. See what's coming up around this, okay? We got the Hierophant here, all right? You could be dealing with a Taurus, all right? I also think, you know, we're looking at sort of like red tape. You know, maybe you're having a hard time too getting time off on the job. Maybe your work is really requiring that in order for you to take the time off to go on this trip, you have to really take on a lot of extra hours or something that just feels really compromising to you. And so you're sort of thinking that maybe it might not be the right time to do it. Also, you might be sort of like, you know, apprehensive about some authority figures that might be there. Okay, so this could be like a parent that's going to be there or somebody who's just kind of like bossy and controlling that you don't want to deal with. You're like, that's not really my idea of a good time. I thought it was just going to be us. That changes things for me. Okay, so it looks like there's some trip, some plan to go on a trip, some vacation that's sort of been put on hold, you know, and it's hard because you want to go, but yeah, it's interesting. What do we got here? Yeah, look at this. You're like chilling out around this. You got the Four of Swords coming up in a crossing position. You're like, let me just think about this. You're giving it a rest because you're not so sure if it's going to be like, you know, the deep drop in, relaxing time you were hoping for. You might have even been kind of asking for some spiritual guidance around this. Like you're really not sure if you should go forward with this because you suspect some kind of like betrayal energy, I have to say. It's got setup energy. We got the Five of Swords here. Yeah. And you're really concerned about financial loss. And you're also concerned, I don't know why it keeps coming up, but you're concerned about being left out of the loop. Like maybe the people that are now included in this trip, they're people who always make you feel like the odd one out, like you always feel left out. And so now you're just like, ugh, I don't know if I want to do this. This doesn't sound like the fun I thought it was going to be, you know? I see you really like considering this. Do I really want to go, you know? It was appealing at one point. Now you're not so sure. You think it might be more trouble than it's worth, okay? Yeah, I don't know. You were really looking forward to having some fun. It was going to be a big celebration. And now you're like, I just don't know if I really want to do this. I thought it was going to be just the two of us. And now it's like there's somebody else here and it's like spoiling the situation. Yeah. And you were really hoping to drop in deep with this person because you have a lot of caring for them. You know, there's somebody that's like really close to your heart. You just wanted it to be the two of you. You wanted to like have some good times with each other. And now you're just feeling like this third party has come in and just driven a wedge in all your plans. And you're like, I'm not so sure I want to do this now. I'm not so sure I want to do this now. Yeah, this element is really like just spoil things. This is somebody that you feel has a really controlling influence. And it just like sours the whole thing for you. It sours the whole thing for you. You might have history with this person too, this third party element that's going to be present there. And you just find that they're just a really controlling influence in this situation. So where it felt like, yeah, this feels really good, you know, now it doesn't feel fair. It feels like somebody's like including themselves in what was supposed to be like I don't know, it's got the vibe of like just the two of us. And now it's like, oh, they're going to be there too. Okay. You know, there's something about this that sort of turns you off. It might even be a parent, you know, or some relative's going to be there and it's turning you off. And I do feel like you're trying to make up your mind about this. This may be an offer coming in from a Sagittarius to go on a trip. Page of Wands is a quintessential Sagittarius card. But I also feel it's just speaking of that house of Sagittarius. It's about travel, okay? And you're trying to decide, do I go or not? I think it has everything to do with like third wheel energy. You feel like now it's not going to be what you thought it was. Maybe you had a different perception of what the trip was going to be around. And now you sort of feel like it's got a little bit of setup energy. It doesn't feel good to you. Yeah. And you sort of feel stuck. You feel stuck because I feel like whoever this third party is that's involved in this trip now, this is somebody that's like stabbed you in the back before. Like, so it's not a good feeling. And you're afraid of getting yourself stuck in a spot where you're like, I wish I wouldn't have gone. I just wish I wouldn't have gone. And plus you feel like I'm going to be set back financially too. You know, and it's a bummer because I feel like you really wanted to move ahead with this. Like it sounded like a lot of fun. This may have even been something you were planning for later on this summer. Leo indications here. Again, you could be Cancer, Leo, cusper here. But I think you were really looking forward to connecting with somebody that you've known for a while, okay? This like has like soulmate connections, or you've known this person since you were young, you know, you've known this person since you were in high school, or you know, you guys go way back with each other, and you were hoping it was going to be an opportunity to sort of like, you know, just let all the drudgery go for a little bit, go and have some fun in the sun and just enjoy each other's company, maybe have a little revival in your connection. And then you got this news came in and it kind of took you by surprise, and now you're like, I don't know. It could be like a mom's going to be there, you know, or maybe this person like let you know that, you know, some other figure that you feel like is sort of like a damper on the whole thing is going to be there. And now you're like, I don't know. I really need to consider if I want to go. You're wondering if you should spend the money, and you're feeling a little bit confused here, I have to say, because it doesn't sound as restorative and fulfilling for you as it did when this offer was initially put on the table. And you're really strongly considering if you should invest in it. You were hoping it would be like a healing for your relationship, all right? And now you're sort of wondering if you should move forward with this because of this, you know, third party in the mix here. Strong Taurus indications, strong Capricorn indications with that Queen of Pentacles coming out. Okay, you could be a Capricorn rising. This could be coming in very strongly for you. I've got really strong Leo on the board too. Libra energy, all right? This is something you're really considering here. You're not so sure. I think you would like to go forward with it, you know, if it was just the two of you, like you originally thought it was going to be, and where the focus was going to be on you guys reconnecting and having fun together. But now, you know, this element's come in and it's sort of got you thinking twice. This could be a Leo, this could be a Taurus, this could be an Aquarius, it could be a Scorpio. Whatever this is, it's kind of a game changer, and you're like, I don't know. It's sort of like, I almost feel like you're in this place where you're like, if they're going to be there, I really don't want to go, you know. I see death here on the other side. Very strong Scorpio indications, Scorpio, Taurus indications, super strong in this read, and Leo indications too. So I don't know. I have a feeling like you might choose to just stay at home. You might, rather than invest in this, because you just feel like you'll regret it. Not only will you regret it, you won't really get to enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to be behind financially. So you might just choose to have a staycation. You might still take a little time off from work, but you might choose to just hang out at home. something about this other element coming in really spoils this for you. This feels like it's a trip that's more future planned. It's like something later in the summer, maybe in like August or something. You were looking at going on this trip, and now you're just like, I don't know if I really want to do this. Whatever this is, you sort of like put things on ice for a moment here. You're not jumping ahead with these plans. What's the deal with this? What's the deal with this? What does Cancer need to be aware of if they go on this trip? How will things really go if Cancer goes on this trip? Like, are there just, you know, certain fears or resistances you have because of past experiences? Is it really going to be this negative experience that you think it's going to be? Okay, we got the Queen of Swords coming in with the Empress in reverse. Ooh, okay, this could be a mother figure that's going to be there, a very controlling mother that's going to put a damper on things. This could be a Libra that's going to be present. You don't have good feelings toward this Libra. I mean, because with the Queen of Swords come in with the Empress in reverse, strong Libra indications. What do we got here? Yeah, you just feel like I'm not going to have the time with you that I wanted to have. I feel like, you know, it's not what I thought it was going to be. And you're just kind of in a position where you're just thinking about what works for you, but this isn't going to be a good time for me. You may even suspect it won't be a good time for the other person there either. Like, it's just going to be awkward. Yeah. You know, and that's not really necessarily what you had in mind. This is what you envisioned. You know, you wanted to go on this trip and have a new beginning between the two of you. You may even share a child with this person. Okay, this could be an ex, somebody you used to be involved with. You were hoping that it might be like some kind of healing for you two, but now there's this other kind of domineering figure who's going to be present. And it has you really feeling like it's not going to be what you're interested in doing. Certainly not a vacation, you know. And again, there's this piece here too where you're really worried about your finances. Okay, so there's something here that's really interfering with what at one point felt like something you really wanted to move forward with. Yeah, you feel like you got a little manipulated here by this individual. Could be an Aries, an Aquarius in connection with this. It's just, it's not what you were hoping for. You know, you may be finding out that this individual is like back together with somebody, in a relationship with somebody. They got a new girlfriend, new boyfriend. You're afraid you're going to be like the third wheel. Like, oh, I thought we were going to drop in with each other and have fun. You're going to be like so distracted focusing on them that we're not even going to have time to really connect. And maybe they sort of just like sprung this on you last minute. I feel like it's either they got like a new lover that's going to be there, and it may even be somebody that sort of grates on you that you don't get along with. You don't get along with this person. Or maybe their mother's going to be there. You don't get along with their mother, or things just feel awkward. It's not what you thought it would be. And you feel like this person just really sprung this on you like last minute. Also, this person with the Empress in reverse might be kind of like spoiled. They like to be catered to. They like to be the center of attention. They're really demanding. And you just feel like it's going to be a wet blanket. It ruined the whole thing for you. It could be a Taurus. We got the Hierophant in reverse. This is somebody who thinks that they're like an empress. They think that, you know, everything should revolve around them. And maybe it really changed up the whole scope of the plans too, because this person's sort of being demanding. Yeah, I don't know. I see you putting it on ice, I have to say. And you're also not too happy about this. You feel like you got a little bit played in this situation. Like, why are you just letting me know about this now? Yeah, I see you putting this on hold. I have to tell you, let me do a cut of the deck and see what we get here for you, Cancer. King of Cups. All right, water sign energy. That's your energy. And there you are. See, you're like, you offered to take me on this trip. And I thought it was going to be about the two of us connecting with each other. And now I'm really pissed because You didn't let me know what was going on with this. Like, it's got setup vibes. It does. You feel very burdened by it, and you feel like they purposefully let this detail out as you were making plans. Like, you feel like they kept you in the dark about this on purpose. That's what I got. You know? They made it out like, oh, we're going to have time to, like, you know, really drop in with each other. We're going to have time to balance things out, you know, be just the two of us. We can really, you know, have that quality time together, heal our relationship, focus on each other. Yeah, they didn't let you know about this element, and now it's got you feeling totally different about this situation, and you're like, we're not on the same page. This does not sound like a good time at all. And to you, it feels like a missed opportunity. It's like, how could you possibly think that this is something I'd want to do? Yeah, you feel like this person really just, they played you in this situation. That's how it comes off. We have the King of Swords with the Seven of Swords with the Page of Swords with the Two of Swords. You're like, you mother effer. You knew exactly what you were doing here. You knew I wouldn't want to go if this person was going to be there. You know how I feel about them. Yeah, there's a lot of blocking energy around this. I think that you're going to spare yourself the trouble here. We got Hangman energy, Pisces energy there, okay? So any of these characters could be playing a role. And I think ultimately, you know, just even thinking about going on this trip with this third party involved, it's just caused so much stress for you that you're going to table it. I don't see you going. I don't see you going. I see you putting this on pause, at least for now, unless something changes in this situation. But it does have these vibes, like somebody sprung something on you. This was not the plan, you know? And you feel like they played you a little bit, like they left out details. It's got setup vibes, like you feel like it's a setup. Yep, that's what I got. It doesn't feel right to you. You don't want the hassle. You don't want the stress. You don't want the drama. All right, I got that very strongly. You also certainly don't want to, you know, put yourself in a rough financial spot. You know, maybe there was some pushback from this third party about, you know, helping foot the bill for you to go on this trip. And that's also what's causing some complication. It just feels like if you go, you're going to feel like the odd man out. You're going to feel like a third wheel. And that's what's really turning you off about this, because you thought it was going to be just you and this person that you really wanted to connect with. And in some cases, this is somebody that, you know, you have romantic feelings toward too, and you were hoping that you might have an opportunity to like heal your connection. I think it was kind of put forward to you in that way, if this is somebody of romantic interest, but something feels just a little foul here. Just a little foul. Let me get some guidance from the angels for you, because it does feel a little sus, man, I have to say. Angels, what should Cancer do about this situation? It's interesting. The light just went out over here too. Yeah, you were kept in the dark about this. And I actually feel like it's being presented to you as a new detail, but it's not. It was always sort of the plan. They just didn't tell you because they knew how you would react. So it's like they kind of left it down to the wire with this, right? I just got, for some of you, this hasn't come in yet, okay? So you're getting a little predictive message here. I do tend to get a lot of predictive stuff with my readings, all right? Not all of it's what's going on right now, but this is a little something for you to just be aware of when this comes up, right? Ask a lot of questions. If this hasn't come in yet, make sure you ask a lot of questions when somebody is, you know, making an offer to, you know, drop in with you on a trip, and they're making promises to help, like, foot the bill and all that. Just ask a lot of questions, because I feel like there's details here that you're not aware of, and I don't necessarily like the intention. It's a little sneaky, and there's definitely some withholding of details in this situation. So I do feel like you're going to put it on hold, but let's just see what the angels have to say. What is the best course of action for Cancer to take in this situation in regard to this trip and dropping in with this person? What do they need to know? What do they need to know, angels? What do they need to know? Ace of Pentacles, divine blessings, drives away evil spirits. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know, you know. Maybe, you know, there's a way for you to get, you know, what you want in this situation. You might have to, you know, really put your foot down and be like, you know, I thought it was just going to be the two of us. I didn't know they were going to come. I'm not really interested in going if they're going to be there. And I don't think it's wrong for you to stand in your truth in regard to that. I mean, it looks like it's really kind of like a compromising situation where you won't enjoy yourself. I also feel like, you know, the financial piece is really key here because it seems like something's not really fair. Like you were promised that maybe your ticket was going to be paid for, or like some financial aspect was going to be taken care of for you. Yeah, interesting. And it says here 2 of Wands. This is you considering should you go forward. And I see you're feeling self-protective because of who's going to be there. Like you feel a little on guard. You're not really trusting this. But it says victory over those who would attack you. Right? So maybe it's not the threat that you think it is. Right? We've got Page of Pentacles here. All right. Earth sign energy. We had Taurus come in very strongly, but you could also be a Capricorn rising, okay? It could be that this is a friend, a mutual friend that you two share that's going to be there. Maybe you had fallout with this friend before, and so you're not so sure if you want to be around them. But it looks like there can be reconciliation in the situation. So maybe something's changed. But there is this piece here, that kind of like Pied Piper influence, where you feel like this person's going to take control of everything. They're going to take control of the plans. I feel like you think this person's a little spoiled. They like everything to cater to them. And you just feel like the whole trip is going to become about them. I think that's your fear. I think that's your concern. I think that, you know, it's sort of being presented to you. Maybe this individual, when you bring this up with them, they're like, well, why are you being so ridiculous? You know, we can all get along. We can all have fun. You know, you need to get over it. You just need to make peace with them. They might be presenting it to you like that. But I mean, if something makes you uncomfortable, it makes you uncomfortable. Cut a deck energy. They might want to bring a child along and that really dampens things. Okay, that's a possibility too. Let's see what we got here. The Magician. Yeah, you feel it's a manipulation again because there's a hidden secret that's coming to light here, and you feel like it was purposefully omitted just so you would agree to go along. And had you known this, you would have never agreed in the first place. So I don't know. I feel like you're putting the brakes on it. Yep. And look at this. We got the 5 of Swords. All right. So you feel like it's a setup energy here. These two knew exactly what they were doing by not letting you know what was going on here. And I do see you calling it out, okay? I do see you calling it out. Yep. And I think that, you know, this King of Pentacles here is going to do everything they can to try to like chill out the situation, talk some reason into you. This could be a fatherly figure, all right? This could be somebody who you used to be a partner with, like a romantic partner with, and you're wanting to heal things in the connection. You know, they're really wanting you all to get along. That's what I feel. They think you should work it out. You should work out your issues with each other with the 8 of Pentacles. They think that there's a way to get over this, you know? And they're telling you, like, come on, it'll be fun. We'll have a good time. Like, you have nothing to worry about here. I'm not going to let anything go down. All right? But you're like, I don't trust it. With the moon. Yeah, I think you're not trusting it. You're not trusting it. And maybe, you know, you're going to kind of find out in sort of a subversive way, too. And then you have to call this person out on it. Maybe you sort of hear about this other person being there through the grapevine. You discover some messages and then you kind of have to call them out over it, you know? And you just know this person's going to ruin what would be a good time. I feel like you feel very strong about this, you know? This could be a Pisces. Pisces came up a few times here. Yeah, and I think you're just trying to head off a problem before it has an opportunity, you know, to really to really take root here, you know, because there's something that you've been very clear about. I feel with the Ace of Swords, you've made it very clear that you don't like this person. Ted says yes on this. You don't trust this person. This could have been somebody that you were on friendly terms with in the past, but they stabbed you in the back. I see you, you know, putting this on hold. I don't see you going forward with this. You seem pretty set on that, all right? Yeah. You know, I mean, I think the reality is that you'll be successful in the choice that you make. It will prevent you being put in a situation where, you know, you could be attacked. Bottom of the deck energy here with the Sacred Rebels. Trust yourself on this, all right? Don't let yourself be swayed. If it's really not feeling right for you and you think it's just going to set you back financially and you're not trusting this person that's going to be there because you know how they operate, you've already had problems with this person, I would just, you know, trust your own counsel on that. I'm going to just get a cut of the deck here for you just to give you a little guidance on how to sort of like root this energy, best deal with this situation. Any further guidance that wants to come through for Cancer in regard to this? Spirit, any further guidance that wants to come through for Cancer in regard to this, Spirit? Let's see what we got here. Cut of the deck, and then we're going to call it good, Cancer. Shock of the new. All right, so I think this is kind of cool. Yeah, and trust yourself. I love this, okay? I think at one time, you would have just followed this person's lead. You know, you would have let them call the shots, even when they pulled something like this with you. You would have just gone along for the ride. But I think you're kind of, you know, you're showing this person that things aren't the way they used to be. Like, I feel like you're going to surprise them by speaking your truth, you know, letting it be known that, hey, man, this isn't what I was thinking of. This isn't, you know, what I wanted to do. This isn't what you told me it was going to be about. For some of you, this could even be in relation to some kind of like musical event, some kind of concert, some kind of festival. Maybe it even involved co-creation on some level. For some of you, you might be singers, you know. Maybe you were traveling to like work on a project with somebody, or maybe somebody was going on tour. You got invited to go. You didn't know that this person was going to be there too. It's got these kind of vibes, right? But I think either way, you're like bailing out on this and you're like, you know, I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel right to me. You're staying in your center point of your truth, what's true for you, what feels right to you. And I think this is really going to shock this person that you're actually really trusting yourself and that things are different, you know, things are different. And, you know, what's I think is kind of cool about this is, you know, yeah, they may have given you a box of darkness there, but there's a gift that comes through with Pandora's gift. So I do feel like there's something that comes out of this that works in your favor. And it really gives you the upper hand in this situation, all right? It says here, be the hunter, not the hunted, all right? So yeah, you spy this deception from a mile away. There's something that you know is just not going to be in your best interest. And because of that, you're flipping the tables up on this character. And it's a whole big, bold vision that will come about as a result of this, all right? Because you're trusting your own wisdom in this situation. So I don't know. You may still go on a trip. I feel like you're just not going to go on a trip with this person. That might shock them, you know, that you're going to do something, you know, that feels right to you. But I think you're really trusting your own wisdom in this regard. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. You're trusting your heart. You're listening to your higher wisdom. This is going to be key for you. And I think you'll be really glad that you did, because I feel you, man. Everything about that doesn't feel right. It does feel a little bit like setup vibes. 44 on the clock. You know, you taking a stand like this, speaking your truth and saying, no, we're not playing this game like that anymore. It actually works out in your favor. And you might be surprised. New opportunity is going to come your way that, you know, you wouldn't have been able to take if you'd gone on that trip. So I feel like in the end, a gift comes out of it and it works in your favor. So stick to your guns.